life, well, it'll work wonders for you. There's my man, Johnny Dumbbell in the building.
Hey, what's going on, guys?
And
So technical difficulties.
Johnny, we're live on your channel too.
Yeah, I'm actually not. It's not showing up live on mine. I think the reason it worked the last time is because I sent you the link. That might be part of it.
No, last Thursday I sent you the link.
Oh, all right.
Because when we did it the week before Monday, it didn't show up on my channel because the paid version and the unpaid, when you don't have the paid version, it doesn't allow your guests to stream to their channels. So
folks, streaming is a lot of complications, ladies and gentlemen. You got to really want to do this.
It really is. And that's just it. We want to do this. This isn't, we don't do this for the likes. We're not monetized. We're doing this to give back because we didn't have people to ask questions of when we were younger. So we made a lot of stupid mistakes that probably could have been avoided. Now, I'll grant you, you're not always ready to listen. So we're not preaching. But to those of you that genuinely have questions, we're here to help you. We want to see you do better. So do your best to stump us. I guarantee you cannot stump me or Johnny Dumbbell with any question you might have. So
yeah, we'll either give you an answer or a course of action.
Now, we got a call-in number. There's our call-in number tonight. It's 330-269-5142. Try to stump us, like I said. Now, Johnny, what do we got tonight? It's Ask Your Favorite Uncles. This is one of my favorite shows, man.
Yeah, I enjoyed this. We got a couple of questions. First of all, yeah, I mean, I got to say thank you to all the people that send me these DMs. Sometimes you get them, I get them in the form of email. Fantastic. I'm really glad that, some of you are reaching out and trying to get these answers. I know most of you probably don't see it live as we answer the questions, but if the number of views we've been getting lately, Billy, is any indication, it looks like we might get these folks watching later on to get these answers later from what we're dispensing for you. Like I said, we give you not necessarily answers, but at least courses of action. We probably should have taken when we were your age or in your situation, and we didn't. We'd be glad to tell you what we learned the hard way, or the hard way that we learned it. But I think that the ultimate treasure in this whole, situation is going to be what you know to do or what you know not to do the next time you find yourself in one of these situations that, hey, may very well be common, but are very easily flubbed up if you don't have the right approach, if you don't have the right game, if you are not, standing on business, whatever it happens to be.
Well, everybody's situation is a little bit different. So our advice for them, or our advisement for them, it's going to be more tailored towards them. But look, I got to let everybody know up front, this is a tough love channel. We're going to tell you some things that you don't want to hear. You might sit back and think, the audacity of them. They don't know me. Here's the thing, gentlemen. We do. We know you all too well. We were you. So hit us with what you got, Johnny. Let's get it going tonight.
Okay, so let's see. What do we have here? This one comes from Aaron. Aaron is 26. He's been with his girlfriend for 6 years. She's 27, so she's got him by a little bit in age. No big deal. We don't live together and barely...
I'm sorry. I hate to interrupt you. I really appreciate it. Just all the contributing you do to the show. I absolutely love it and respect you. But let's stop the cap. She's a little bit older than him. No big deal. John,
well, it gets worse.
Very big deal, especially if she's more experienced and advanced than him.
Well, I think that's what we're getting at here.
I'm sorry. I'm reading a little far into it already off.
Brett. I didn't send you a copy of this, did I?
Absolutely not.
I've never done that. All right,
Because this is unscripted. We don't
Yeah.
need time to prepare. I'm telling you guys, you cannot stump us. Your words expose you. I started picking this thing apart before John even got to read it, man.
To be
Shout
fair, I
out
do.
to us. We're here to help, gentlemen.
Yeah, to be fair, I do pre-screen these. So I unfortunately have to read these initially. I try to read them and just skim over for inappropriate material so we can keep that out of there or something like that.
Right.
But it's really hard sometimes for me not to actually just read the whole freaking thing ahead of time. But sometimes in order to make sure that you're not reading something like this, in a situation like this that isn't appropriate to put on YouTube or maybe not appropriate to put on the internet, as far as we're concerned. I don't want that to be in there. So, but
Right.
the downfall is that sometimes I do end up reading a little bit ahead. I end up having to spoil it for myself.
Well, yeah, we do
But
have to
yeah, in this,
screen it, and I appreciate that.
hey, no problem, man. In this particular case, we don't live together and barely have um, checkers time. And I had a chance at the bar this weekend and I turned it down. How do I handle things from here? Now, he gives us a little bit of detail. He says, when we first got together, we lived with our parents. Then I got a house. We talked about moving in together. She wanted to wait until her dog passed away as he was old and had health problems. And I understood that, but he's passed now 2 years. Hold on. 2 years later, I still live alone. But when I bring it up, I somehow become the bad guy because I'm pressuring and being controlling. We also dock together once a month. While she also says she doesn't like the idea of her boyfriend watching spicy movies or manually massaging himself. So I try to get things going for date nights, some sort of physical touch, and I get shot down. Now, I think we could probably stop here and say that, well, Bill, go ahead, take it away.
Are you kidding? Really?
I
Look,
mean,
all right, look, gentlemen, I know you guys aren't half as experienced as we are, but I'm going to tell you something. When a woman is into you, she cannot keep her hands off of you. Now, it is your job to incite that and bring that out of her. And my man here does not know what he's doing. Now, honestly, it's not just that, Johnny. It's even worse. This woman's not into him, and he can't read the
no,
room.
no, and,
So,
and and I mean the thing that's happening here is that his relationship is slowly dwindling. This is where a lot of guys start the love bombing, or a lot of guys think, "Oh, she's slipping away from me. I know. Let me just go ahead and show her how much I love her even more." Not as if that wasn't already putting her off. Um, I think what's happening now is he wants to progress further. She gave him the excuse. Now, listen, maybe this dog is a very important, part of her family. I will never downplay the relationship between a person and their pet. But at the same time, even if the dog passing was some sort of focal point in her life that she had to get past, like you said, it's been 2 years. And here's the thing: you keep asking, she keeps getting mad at you for asking. I don't know how many times the door has to be slammed in your face before you realize you're not getting through the door.
what's this once a month stuff? Did I hear that
Well, and that's
correctly?
another thing. I mean, I'm not going to go ahead and say she's getting it elsewhere because I don't know. I mean, I don't want to assume that. Look, we all know how these kinds of behaviors end up and what symptoms we see, but I'm not even going to assume that. I'm going to just leave it between the two of them. Never mind any external forces. She's decreased this frequency to once a month simply because she is not biologically, physically, or in any other way attracted to you at this stage of things.
John,
That one time a month is probably either to get something she wants or to try to keep up appearances or to, whatever it is. But the point is she's not showing you. You have to ask yourself. We say this all the time. You bottom line her actions, but you know what you also do. You bottom line her inactions as well. Does a person who is attracted to me, is interested in forwarding this and furthering this relationship, going to do this more, or is this person going to do these things less? Uh, are these simply the actions of someone who wants to be with me?
we often talk a lot about attraction, but I'm going to talk about something a little bit different here, Johnny. What about respect? how can this woman remove intimacy from your life without even having a conversation with you about it? Don't you
Well,
think
and I
that's
think
really one-sided?
well, and I'm not even saying that. Let's assume she doesn't even mean to do it. Let's assume it's subconscious. Let's assume that she's doing this because of some sort of biological feeling inside her that says, push this guy away because she is. But it may or may not even be a conscious thought. But what needs to be a conscious thought in this guy's head is, yeah, I mean, is this what she does when she wants to be with me, or is this what she does when she does not want to be with
So basically, he's doing the retention thing unintentionally. So look, honestly, I'll get rid of her right away. That's not
me? Yep.
what he wants. He wants to be very active in that manner. And that's just not the woman for him. And he doesn't understand compatibility. And here's what's even worse: people get comfortable. So
Yep.
he's comfortable in his relationship with her. He's comfortable with this woman, and he can be comfortable for half a dozen different reasons. He may not want to learn a new woman all over. Some of you don't have that in you. You know, you guys get trained by a woman and you don't know how to operate on your own. And then when the next woman comes along, she don't want you because of your programming and training from the previous woman. You haven't unlearned that bad behavior. So
Yeah. I
unless
mean, and I think it speaks volumes to see that he would rather put up with this kind of treatment rather than go out into that great unknown. So if he is more comfortable being in a relationship with somebody who is going to, I don't know, I don't want to say necessarily mistreat him, but at the very least neglect him, he's more comfortable with that than going out there and trying to find somebody else who just might be attracted to him, who just might be interested in him, who might just want to, hang with him and be with him just for him. What that speaks to, and whether he stays in this relationship or not, he's going to need to work on himself and raise his level of self-confidence. Aaron, I got to tell you, this ship is sunk. You might still be above water, but you can decide to go down with the ship, which is not going to have a good ending, or you can go ahead and jump in a lifeboat. You will be rescued at some point, and you can move forward with somebody that you have a little bit more in common with. But currently, what you're doing is trying to fit her mold. You are trying to be selected to her program, and even if you were successful in doing that, that is going to, whether she realizes it or not, or wants to or not, she's going to lose that respect for you in that regard. She's already a little bit older than you. She's already a little more experienced than you, and now you are kind of following her around like a lost puppy, at least mentally. And at this stage, yeah, man. I mean, I think you can go ahead and ease the band-aid off and enjoy every last bit of pain your nerve endings can feel, or you just rip the band-aid off and throw it away and put a new one on. But the biggest thing is too, get to know yourself, get to like yourself. For the love of God, get to the gym 3 times a week for 4 weeks. And I challenge you to do that. After that, I want you to do it 4 times a week for 4 more weeks. And you got to be able to look into that mirror and you got to like who you are, because guess what? That's where it starts. You would be surprised how easily not just women in a romantic sense, but people in a business sense or people in a friendship sense. You would be surprised the level of attraction that you can create just by finally discovering who you are and saying, you know something, I like them too.
the law of attraction, Johnny, I think we should do a whole episode about that.
And we're
Just,
not talking about
I
that, the
know,
secret stuff. That's garbage. But we are talking about the way attraction works.
right. Now, I hate that that's the best advice we got for him tonight is this
Yeah,
the
I hate to
killer
just say
thing
break
can
up
get
with her and
all
move
that,
on, but yeah,
but you're dealing with a woman that you've never dictated terms with. You're dealing with a woman that doesn't have any respect for you. You're no matter how much you could, Aaron, you could leave the woman today, spend the whole next year working on you, working on yourself, becoming the best version of yourself, becoming a better man than you ever imagined possible. And that woman is still going to look at you like you're the person you are today. No matter how much time and effort you put into you, she's never going to respect that growth. That's why we're telling you to get out of this relationship. It's not because we think it's going to be easier on you. We know it's going to be harder on you. You're going to miss the way she has mistreated you because you don't know anything different. It's going to take you time to unlearn that behavior. And the worst thing you could do is jump into another relationship. Like Johnny said,
Yeah, I
spend some
mean,
time getting to know yourself. He really means that. And I think you should follow up with him more on that. And he'll set a
yeah, and I
lot of
mean, if you're
different
not,
goals for
yeah, I mean, if you're not ready to step out of this relationship, first of all, I mean, I think it's kind of foolish at this point. But you did mention that when you bring it up, somehow you always get shot down. My question would be, is oh, wow, that was terrible grammar. My question would be, um, how do you bring it up and how are you getting shot down? Because the thing of it is that if you're not looking to break up right away, you should be having the serious conversation. And that is going to mean that if you're going to have this conversation, you had better be ready to hear some things that you are not ready to hear at this present moment. I guarantee you. You had better be ready to ask the hard questions. And I'm sorry to say, if she's being honest, you better be ready to receive some pretty hard answers to hear. Um, I think that that is probably something you fear. And, that's unfortunate. We've all been there. We've all said, "Oh my god, I don't wanna have this conversation because I don't want her to make the decision." My brother, if you're afraid to have that conversation, she probably has already made that decision. This is that period of time. This could be that period of time where she's kinda riding it out until you break up with her, or she's already kinda finding a way to break it to you. Either way, look, man, you gotta move on, move up, and for the love of God, keep listening to us. Thank you.
one quick thing, Johnny. Talk to me about Aaron's girlfriend in hypergamy.
Well, I don't know because we're not really looking at there's no indication that there's technically someone else. So I mean I
Well, how long have they been together?
while it does kind of scream that there is something holding her back from moving on and furthering the relationship. And as we all know, most modern women in the dating world probably at the very least might have her eye on somebody. But I have to go by what Aaron says and what he doesn't say. And he doesn't really say anything about anybody or any situation that makes it suspicious. So I mean, other than the fact that their closeness has decreased, the physical and the emotional realm. I mean, I really couldn't tell what type of situation. It doesn't really speak a whole lot to her personality, other than the fact that she's clearly avoidant right now, and that is a surefire sign that she's ready to step out of the relationship. Not just no, I don't mean by cheating. I mean just getting out of the relationship altogether. This just seems like things are fizzling out.
Yeah, I think you should throw in the towel. And, I usually tell guys that they should approach women and talk to women, but something tells me you're not ready for that.
No,
So,
and that's why I
uh,
say get to that gym 3 times a week and worry about that. Those are your 3 dates a week for right now.
well, consistency is key. And how you do one thing is how you do everything. So, if you can consistently put positive energy into yourself for a while and get rid of all that negativity in your life, because I guarantee this woman is bringing negative energy. You're saying that she gets upset about stuff. Like he was talking about she doesn't want him to watch corn.
Yes,
So,
with a
um,
K.
yeah. So, first of all, she shouldn't be telling you what to do. That's a huge indicator to Johnny and I that you need to get out of this. Is she's
Well, and,
telling
and
you what to do with your manhood?
and if
So
it's a
she's
preference that she would rather he didn't do it, then that's okay. But then what is she doing for him to keep him interested in her? I know that's not how it works. That's not really how it works, but that's how she's thinking, and that's where her logic is. At least on that topic, at least that's what it seems like. And so, yeah, I mean, I think that she's kind of a little delusional on this one.
well, it's almost as if she's emasculating him and he's unaware of it because he doesn't realize that she is telling him what he can do with his manhood. Like
Well, and I
he
would
needs
say that
permission to
it's
use his manhood from her.
yeah. I mean, what it could be. I mean, I have seen women, systematically break a man down to kind of make sure that she currently and always has the upper hand in a relationship going forward. But I don't really hear a whole lot of. I mean, I kind of hear like that could be the case. Maybe she is using the whole dwindling thing and hoping that he reads into it and expects that she might be leaving him. And you know, that could be a systematic way of trying to kind of start getting what she wants out of him. Because after all, it's obvious that Aaron here is trying to do whatever he can to fit her program. So I mean, I don't think that that would be outlandish to think that that would be possible. But either way, he's on the path for unhappiness
He's
in
already
either
used
case.
to accepting crumbs from her.
Yeah.
She's not going to go back to giving him a whole piece of cake when he has already accepted crumbs. Are you kidding
Right.
me?
Right.
Aaron, break up with this woman. Seriously.
Yeah. I
And
mean
write Johnny back and let us know if if you could muster that. You're not living with her. That's a good thing. I know you've wanted her to move in once or twice. The thing with the dog, look, when a woman is really into you, nothing, and I mean nothing, will stop that. Okay. She will find a way to be with you. She will find a way to be in your life. She will, if she's that worried about other women, she'll find a way to prevent other women from having
yeah.
easily accessible amounts of your
Oh,
time. You know what I mean? So the fact that she's not living with you, she always has an excuse. You're fighting too much with her. She tells you what to do with your manhood. You're miserable because you're with her and you don't even know it.
yeah.
So run, bro.
He's
Run.
picking misery over discomfort and the unknown. Yeah. And let me set your mind at ease, Aaron. Once you've gotten to like yourself and work on yourself, that unknown becomes a lot of fun. It really does. So, Aaron, you know what we think, man. Your uncles care about you. We want you to kind of get to a point in your life where you're happy with who you are, not with who you're with. So, all right. What do we got here? Glasses back on. We've got. There we go. Calls himself Stevo. I like that. Is it normal that I want to give up on dating, dude? How often do we hear this?
Bruh.
Yeah, I mean, and listen, I mean, for those of you guys who are just throwing your hands up and yeah, I mean, for those of you guys who are throwing your hands up and saying "screw it, I quit," hey man, to be honest with you, I get it. But then again, you probably wouldn't be watching us. Um, but the thing of it is that I understand where he's coming from, but I kind of want to, and this is one of the ones I was able to just kind of skim over. So now I'm kind of sort of reading it for the first time, but um, what he says here is so the title said it all. I'm really not interested in dating anymore because I'm so done with the women playing games with me and having unrealistic high standards. For context, I'm 30, I'm good looking, I have a high paying job, I'm a little introverted, but I can maintain decent conversation and joke around. I also have great hobbies that keep me from being bored. However, I've been having problems with dating over the past few years. So normally, this is how it goes. She seems interested in me. We talk a lot. I do what Johnny Dumbbell says and don't text her right away. And I end up being. Whoops, I just lost my place. Oh, so normally, when I take the initiative to finally ask her out, I get rejected. I felt so much time and energy wasted, especially when I'm putting so much effort and then ended up being treated like that. I'm okay with being rejected. That is not the problem. The problem is that they started to play the mind game, and that's when I'm done. There are so many obvious hints giving out that they're interested, but at the end, they're just like, nope, I guess I read it wrong. So yeah, I'm starting to give up. Um, I'm debating whether I want to read the rest of this, but
No, run it. Come on.
yeah, okay. See, and this is important. Yeah, this is important enough to read.
I think you should give
my,
up on dating.
my family really wanted me to have a romantic partner, and I wanted to find someone that I could spend the rest of my life with. But I don't see this happening anytime soon with the way society is going. Sorry for the long post. Just wanted to air it out. Happy to accept any advice that you guys have and hear your thoughts. I got to tell you, the situation here is that our friend Steve-O is getting the worst answer a lady can give you. And believe it or not, that answer is not no. No, as we say all the time, is the second best answer you can get. But Steve-O here is not getting that. He's talking to girls who are saying, well, let's see what you got to offer. Or, I'm already being entertained by this guy this week, but call me next week. Maybe I'll be bored by then. You know, I mean, that's what it really sounds like, because he's having these conversations. They're speaking to him as if they're interested. They're hooking him in. And what's happening is he's kind of being placed on that back burner to where if she's bored enough, she might message you back. And in most cases, let's face it, a modern, young, attractive woman is not going to be bored for very long. And certainly not enough to text back a guy who, unfortunately, needs to really, once again, work on himself, get to like himself. And I think he needs to grow up in a little bit. I think he needs to grow up. Needs to grow up a little bit maturity wise, but also needs to work very, very hard on his self confidence, and that is always going to start with, like we say before, starting a positive routine.
How old is he? Does it say in there how old he is?
It does not. It doesn't. But I would be. Oh, yes, it does. Yes, it does. Because he's 30. He's 30.
Wow. You know, if he tries right now, he might have a chance of getting into the military. That's something he should have did 10 years ago.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't know at 30 if I mean they might take him at 30. Does anybody know? Put that in the comments. Like how old you got to be. Like
yeah,
what's the
sure
cutoff for recruiters? But if you were 20, 25, I would tell you need to get into the military, dog. They'll make a man out of you.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. Yep.
I don't even know where to start, really. Your family wanting you to have a partner tells me that you have been conditioned to sleep on the couch your entire life, that you don't know the first thing about manhood, leading a woman, or anything. So, because men and women aren't equal. And I'm not saying that men are better than women. And I'm not saying that at all. I'm saying that we're not equal. And when you're in a partnership with somebody, things are equal. So if this is the kind of mentality he's been brought up with, his words are exposing the fact that he has not had a lot of masculine influence in his life, because that's not how men think. So there's a root cause right there. He was never taught manhood as a skill set. Shout out to K-Zag. And now he's 30 years old and doesn't know how men are supposed to move.
Yeah, I mean, I think one of the biggest things is, you're sitting there, or he's sitting there talking about external forces. This young man is along for the ride, okay? And what I mean by along for the ride is he seems to be frustrated because he's putting it out there, but they are making the final ultimate decision as to whether or not he is desirable himself. So he is looking to external forces for his validation. And top it all off, he's blaming an external force like his family for kind of trying to push him towards finding that special person. And when he fails to do so, the third scapegoat that he introduces is society. Now, don't get me wrong. We do have a lot of double standards, and most of them are not in our favor, fellas. There are a lot of things out there that do kind of tend to, push back against us. But remember that we are men. The world does not happen to us. We happen to it. And if this is the case, for all of us, then this is a time for you to start kind of making changes in your own life so that you can make changes in the lives of others, especially for the better. Only when you do that will you finally realize that this life is not some taxi cab to nowhere. You've got to have a direction. You got to have a directive. You have to have a motivation to get there, a goal, a plan to execute that goal. Otherwise, like we say, just making a wish, man. You got to grow in confidence.
You said people are looking for that special person in their life. And
I'm saying his family wants him to.
His family wants him to find that special person in his life. So he's conditioned to think that. So I'm going to give him the game right now on how to find that special person in your life. Do what your family wants. I'm behind that 100%. But I'm going to tell you right now how to find that special person in your life. You got to look in the mirror, dog. You got to look in the mirror for that special person in your life. There should be nobody that is more important to you than that person in the mirror. And I'm not saying that you should be more important than your family. Your family should be the cornerstone of why you do what you do. But think about it like this. If you're on a plane and it's going down, you're supposed to put your mask on first because you can't help anybody else out if you need help yourself. So look in the mirror, learn to love the person in the mirror, accept your flaws, and work on them, dog. And you don't need to find love. John, I have to say this every episode, John.
I think you do. Look, I say to people all the time, listen, it's great to be in love, but I mean, have you ever had a nice cold beer? I mean,
look, everybody's
pretty
looking
great too.
Everybody's looking for true love. They want true love in their life, and they don't exist. They don't understand the only true love exists is the love that you have for yourself. And if you don't absolutely love, adore, and respect yourself, you're going to have all kind of other problems in life. Like I'm telling you, that is the foundation. And there's other parts to it: gratitude, appreciation, respect. Your self-respect. There's a lot to it, but you got to have a foundation. And this guy does not have a foundation to build these standards and principles on.
Yeah, and I mean, I know we sound like a broken record, fellas, but the biggest thing is that we can't cram this down your throats enough. Is, again, self-discovery, self-appreciation, self-love. I mean, these things are not just buzzwords that they use in the psychological community. Bill and I are not clinical psychiatrists. We're not, we're not rocket scientists. We're not geniuses. Okay, I didn't make it through college. Okay, the fact of the matter is, we are just experienced guys that want to save you the heartache that we've had to endure ourselves.
Hey, Johnny Deb says she'll take the cold beer.
Deb, honestly, if my current relationship doesn't work out, I'm right there with you. Matter of fact, I think I might actually invest in a brand.
What else could we get? What other information could we give him, Johnny? I mean, he's kind of too old to go to the military. Mm-hmm. He needs to learn a standard for his life.
Yeah, I mean, my big thing would be I'm going to go ahead and kind of repeat the advice that I gave to to our last guy. Look, you've got to get to the gym. You've got to develop a routine. You've got to make that a 3 time a week thing for 4 weeks. After 4 weeks, make it a 4 day a week thing for 4 weeks. You've got to have some sort of routine, because I'm telling you right now, once your blood's flowing regularly, once you've got those endorphins pumping, especially if you're working out outdoors, you're getting a little bit of that serotonin from the sunlight. The thing of it is that you are going to start to kind of think about things that you probably should have thought about a long time ago. I can't tell you how many of my life's problems I solved on a 30-mile bike ride or a 6 or 7 mile run. Now, I'm not saying you got to go to that extreme, but what I am saying is you could be doing arm curls thinking about things. You could be, but the fact of the matter is you won't have to think about those things, because when you start to see that you're in control of your own improvement and your own results, you're going to figure out that works up here too. And that works in here too. So keep that going. Make that a routine. Make that your life. It is your life.
Deb says a long neck bottle never broke my heart.
Oh, great song. Love it. So we got one more.
What else we got tonight, Johnny?
Let's see. This from Oscar. Oscar, by the way, I know who you are. Thanks for watching, man. I really appreciate it, dude. So anyway, he says, does anyone else have serious overthinking issues? Now, this is a very short question. I debated whether or not I wanted to put it on the show, but I really think that it speaks to not only the self-confidence that we've been preaching for the past 45 minutes just tonight, but also to kind of getting a good upstart to how you're going to approach things in the future. All he says here is, you might say something to a girl and you'll just ponder. You'll just ponder it all day. You'll be thinking about it later, saying, "Man, I should have said this or I should have said that." Is what I think he's trying to say here. That's it's not.
That's a beautiful thing, Johnny. That's what I call the film room. Okay.
Well, that's exactly it. But here it comes. maybe it's not even embarrassing, but you'll overthink every word you say to them and their body language and mood around you. So he has been watching, and I know because he's mentioning the body language, and I love that. Thank you, Oscar. And I'm very proud of you. You're paying attention to that.
Shout out to Oscar.
Yeah, man. Right now, Oscar, I can tell you just by reading that, and I'm sorry, I had a hard time understanding your grammar, dude, but I think I know what you're trying to ask me. When I'm looking at those things, I like that you're asking the right question, but it sounds to me like you're asking for examples of what, for example, body language she might display that is considered good and considered bad. Honestly, it sounds like a good remedial sales training would help you with this. But I'm kidding. But when you go through this, I think when you're, I think you're asking the right questions about, you know, have I ever, what could I say better the next time? What could I do better the next time? Well, hey, man, this is exactly an opportunity for you to work on your quick wit. This is a perfect opportunity for you to work on your flirting skills, your conversational skills. Just like you're going to want to work on your body in the gym, you're going to want to work on your mind and the quickness with which you use it. Women are very impressed with a man who's got a quick wit, who's got a quick mind. Like we always tell you about laughter. Elicit that uncontrollable response, no matter what the environment. But what I like about this is that I think what you're asking in a nutshell is, how will I know if I'm doing it right? Oscar, the scary and great answer is you're going to have to get used to the word no. You're going to have to get used to getting kind of shot down because it's going to happen more often than it's not going to happen. Nobody bats 1,000, not even Bill here. All right. So the fact of the matter is that you're going to have to be able to get out there and express who you are. And remember, the more you express who you are, the more you show that confidence of your actual personality. The more you show that not exuberance, that once you emanate who you truly are to the people around you. The bad news is some people might not like it, but the good news is you'll strongly attract people who do, because now not only are not only are you emanating charisma, but you're exemplifying leadership as long as you are confident enough in those things.
Oscar, hey, this is a great question, and this is one of the best questions we've had in a few weeks. I got shout out to you, Oscar. Yeah. I think you should be overthinking your interactions with women. You should be hypercritical of them. And I'll tell you right now, you want to know if you're doing the right thing? Check your results. Okay. Because if you step to 10 women and only 2 of them are interested in you, you still got 2 women you're talking to at the end of the week that you weren't talking to at the beginning of the week. So your results should speak for themselves. So you should be going over the interactions, thinking about what you could do different. But I'm going to give you a piece of advice here that I got from themanmindset.com from Steve the Dean Williams. Steve teaches you one thought, one way, one mind. You are always the letter A and the number 1. You don't, what you say to a woman does not change. It's not situational based on where you're at or what she's doing. It's going to be the same every single time you're introducing yourself to her and giving her one of the best opportunities she's going to have in her entire life. She's either going to take you up on it or she's not. So that's how you should be approaching women, the same way, every single one. And, my name's Oscar. Nice to meet you. I just want to know, you got anybody in your life that's going to have a problem if I want to give you my number? And I know Johnny will ask for a number, but I don't recommend doing that, Oscar, because us as men should always be leading women. And I think that puts you on weak ground when you ask a woman for her number. So you offer her yours. She either takes it or she doesn't.
I think it's a matter of taste, but I mean, I think most of all, I don't want you to overthink before I want you to think before you speak. What I don't want you to do is stammer and overthink before you speak. Like Bill says, go to the writing room later when things didn't turn out, quite right. Man, think about what you could have done differently. Think about what you could have done better. But I would definitely not say to agonize over it. I think the best thing for you to do is, it sounds like you know who you are. It sounds like you have already gotten to that point where you
sounds like
I do think you like yourself.
Dumbbell's channel.
I do think you like yourself because you're getting out there to share that with somebody. What's that?
I said, sounds like he's subscribed to the Johnny Dumbbell channel.
Oh, nice. Yeah, I thought it was a comment at the bottom of the screen. I was like, wait a minute, I can't read that. Yeah, I mean, and and I think that's a great thing. I think that it's great that you're taking our advice, that you're learning what that game means, and what it means to, at least have the courage. And I hate to have to use the word courage, but at least have the courage to approach a woman and strike up a conversation. She's not going to break her knees if you break the ice. If she doesn't want to talk to you. That's cool, man. Move on.
No,
And
I love being
that's
told
okay.
no.
You're going to run into that a lot, but don't be afraid of it. Yeah.
I love being told no. Hey, and let me tell you something, Johnny, you can't take me anywhere. I think I found the best place to meet women in the whole world, at least for me, and that's like the organic food section at Myers, Whole Foods, or like even Giant Eagle. The women that I just run into while I'm walking around looking for stuff, man, I enjoy them so much, Johnny. So,
Yeah.
because look, I tell guys all the time, the women at your job, you need to leave them alone. The women you see at the gym, you need to leave them alone. That's not where you should be meeting women. If she's working, she's being paid to be nice to you. So you can't like try to ask the waitress for her number. It don't work like that, dog. What she's probably going to do is give you her IG, so it doesn't make it weird, and she still gets a nice tip from you, but she can just ignore your DM for the next 3 years till you forget about her. So I don't know, Johnny. Is that all we got tonight?
That's all we got tonight. Hats off to Oscar, man. You got you got the stuff. Just keep practicing, man.
Yeah, absolutely, Oscar. Shout out
Yeah,
to
that's
you.
all I got for tonight, man. What do you think, Bill?
Well, I think we're off Thursday night.
Bruh.
Sorry, ladies. I'm not going to be swiping and matching with anybody live. I may do that on my off time this week. We'll see. But we'll be back next week. Same time, same day. Ask your favorite uncles. Get Johnny your questions. We want to help you out with them. We do some follow-ups too. Oscar, we would like to follow up with you. I want to know a little bit more about where you're meeting women at, what you're saying to them. When you're in your film room going over the interactions, what you think you could do different. So
I'm going to reply with I'm going to reply with a few questions. Yeah.
Good. So look, hey, I just want to thank everybody for watching. If you've ever watched either one of the channels, if you've ever liked, shared our streams, if you've ever watched a short, thank you. I genuinely appreciate you. You are helping us get our message out to as many people as we can, and I appreciate that. So thank you, and shout out to y'all.
All right. Got anything else, Bill?
No, that's it for me, Johnny. I'll see you guys next week. We out, dog.
Now remember, guys.